Alright, I'm just going to make a quick video. Somebody asked me a damn good question, actually. These oil ports here, or passages, or galleys, whatever you want to call them, it's 1, 2, 3 on each side of the block, on each side of the 4.6 liter. We're on the driver's side, so we're going to look at the back one. But where do they go? Do they go straight through the head and then stop at the head gasket, or do they make it right through the head gasket and keep going into the engine block and down into the oil pan? That's a damn good question. Does your oil go anywhere else, or if anything in that case has been dropped down those ports, where does it lead? Can you get to it when you take the oil pan off? We don't know. So the idea is to be able to look down in there and see how far it goes, and or test how deep it is. So what are we looking at here? Right there. I'm gonna say that's just from first glance that they go all the way down to the oil pan. That's what we would assume, but let's find out. Hold on a second. Alright, what I have here is a piece of stainless steel from a windshield wiper, blade, and I'm going to shove it down in there and see how far it goes. Okay, I am this far down right there. That's how far we went. Is there something stopping me? Yes, when I go down, I kind of hit a certain point about right there. Is that the bottom of the oil pan? Let me look. No, not quite. I am hitting something else. Let's see. Let's see if it's the same on all three. So the question is, if I drop something down here, can I remove the oil pan and retrieve it? That's the question. Yeah, that's pretty short. Well, one thing's for sure, it definitely gets past the head. So it goes right through the head gasket, and it makes it down into the engine block. But from there, okay, that's oil pan. So I'm hitting the oil pan. The only difference is that when I'm going down, it hits something that it stops on, and it kicks this stainless steel rod up and around it, so it does encounter something. So if I do drop something thicker than this down there, it is going to stop at a certain point. I'm guessing that maybe it's trying to make a turn and it's hitting there. Either that, or it is encountering. I can't turn the block over fast enough to make this video and dump all this oil out of here, and I mean, maybe in a day or two I can do that, but for right now I'm going to say that almost all the way down towards the end of the block we are encountering maybe the crank journals, and it's trying to go up and around. So if I drop something down in here, what way would I want to use to retrieve it? Would be probably a magnet on the end of a rod like this, shove down and retrieve it. Hopefully whatever I dropped was metal and I could retrieve it with a magnet. Now everything else is metal in here except for the head. It's aluminum, but as you get into the block, the magnet is going to be weak when encountering something, unless it's encountered directly on the head of the magnet, which in the case of a keeper for one of the valves, I would say that the head of a good magnet, or a retrieval magnet for automotive use or whatever, or even if you had one that you had to strap on to the end of this and just not lose it in there, you could grab that keeper with it. So I would try a magnet first, then a vacuum cleaner. I would downsize a vacuum cleaner and stick it in the port and see if I could suck it out with a hose. In other words, a piece of fuel line that I could shove down in there on the end of a vacuum cleaner, and then use tape to reduce it down to the smallest, maybe a funnel upside down over the vacuum cleaner hose, and then a piece of heater hose, and then to a piece of gas line or a vacuum line, and then down in there so I could put a suction on it and try to pull it out. Also, I would even consider blasting the air in there to make it fly back out. But my first idea would be to retrieve it with a magnet. I hope this helps for now, for the time that we have. All right, thanks.